Uncle Mark here from UncleMarkRocks.com welcoming you. Today I'd like to talk about some construction bloopers that happen on the site. The first one I can think of is when we hired a young man who showed up at the site ostensibly with his own tools. He showed up and said, "Hey, I have my own tools." And I'm like, "Yeah, where, dude? Where's your tools?" Where he proceeded to pull up his sleeve, and they were tattooed on his arm. Yeah, that was his tools. He was quite an employee. World's greatest construction bloopers, number 2. Yeah, we had this. We hired this young man to be a painter. He said he knew how to paint. So, you know, I thought, I thought it was cool, and so I hired him. Then once he got on the job, he told me 2 things. Number 1, he didn't like ladders. Number 2, he didn't like cutting in. I'm like, well, that's interesting because that's what painters do. But I still wanted to give this young man a break because he was cool. So we were in the garage doing some work, and we had this project that required being on the ladder. So I told him, go do that. The next thing I know, this guy's going up the wrong side of the freaking ladder, He's going up the back of the ladder. Even a 6-year-old would know not to do this. And to his chest was hitting the paint tray. And I'm like, and I looked over there and I said, "Oh my freaking God, what are you doing?" He said, "I told you I don't like ladders." Uncle Mark here from UncleMarkRocks.com, construction bloopers number 3. So we're doing the foundation, the major foundation, and there was this one of my Mexican connection workers down there working with gloves on, thank God. The next thing I know, he has this baby rattlesnake in one hand, holding it up in one hand, and he tells Uncle Mark, he said, "What should I do? What should I do with this snake?" I'm like, "Get rid of it, you idiot, get rid of it." Construction bloopers 4, Uncle Mark here from UncleMarkRocks.com. So we're doing a little bit of nailing, using the nail gun as usual. And then we hired a framing guy with a huge framing hammer. This guy was doing 2 hits, pounding in the nail on the second hit all the way. A 2.5-inch nail. Set, pound, set, pound, set, pound. He was keeping up with the nail gun. So you know what I said? This guy rocks! That's UncleMarkRocks.com. Uncle Mark Rocks from UncleMarkRocks.com, construction bloopers number 5. It's when we did the last project, which was the Great Wall of Dono, and then we were doing the top side, and it was so freaking huge. And when I asked the worker what it was, he said it was a helicopter landing pad. I'm like, a helicopter landing pad? What's up with that? Do we need a helicopter landing pad on my freaking house? The answer was no, folks. So we cut that mother flapper down. Uncle Mark here from UncleMarkRocks.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about why the property is worth $1 million when all the other properties are only worth half that or less. What makes my property worth that? Well, folks, why is Tom Selleck, Sylvester Stallone, and Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep, etc., 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 why are these actors or actresses, why can they command $20 million per film? Well, that's the question. The answer is because they're one of a kind. Just like UncleMarkRocks.com, balcony is one of a kind. So now you get it. Now you get it. UncleMarkRocks.com